And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch, but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Wednesday. We got Hawks, Bucks, game one of the Eastern Conference Finals on tonight. Going to be absolutely insane. Can the Hawks continue on this great journey? They've been upsetting every team that they've been facing, folks. The Hawks were the 5th seed against the Knicks, the 4th seed. Then they just went out and beat the number 1 seed, and now they got the number 3 seed with the Bucks. So let's see if they can continue on their journey of winning. Trae Young getting it going. Kind of floundered a little bit in Game 7, but we'll preview that game, break it down, and do our moneymaker for that. We got to break down, oh my gosh, the Suns-Clippers Game 2 last night. Jeez Louise, I mean, there's so much to talk about in that game. The last in-game, 12 seconds, the last 20 seconds in game time was 33 real-life minutes, folks. 33 real-life minutes. So we've got to talk. Oh, my God. We got so much to break down. And man, Jay mother-loving Crowder, baby. You'll never hear us disrespect that man or slander that man or clown that man. We've been the biggest supporters of Jay Crowder this entire season, and he comes up big time in game number 2 last night. So we'll break down that game. And then we are continuing on with our kind of Aaron Rodgers credit revisit, folks. We got the divisional round in 2014 against the Cowboys. We'll judge him out of 100 credit points. Does he deserve credit for the win? Not credit? What is he looking like? Any bad plays? Any good plays? So we'll walk all that through the stats and the film and all that. So we got all that today on the show. So let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first one, let's start here. We get a clip of Jameis, famous crab legs Winston over here. Jameis Winston practicing. And this is good. We want to see him throw the ball. That's his kind of biggest knock, is those interceptions need to come way, way, way down. But he's practicing out here, just staying strong in the pocket. They've got some bags over there to kind of simulate the crowded lineman of the pocket. They got this trainer trying to smack the ball out of his hands, and he's looking real good. He's looking confident, keeping his eyes down the field, not losing the grip of the ball, 2 hands firmly on the ball, and he's looking pretty good. But, we want to see him throw the ball. That's really what he needs to work on, finding ways to not throw interceptions because, folks, big interceptions, bad touchdown to interception ratio every single season. 2015, 15 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 22 touchdowns. That's not 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Then year 2, 2016, 18 interceptions, 28 touchdowns. 2017, 11 interceptions. That was on his lower side, right? 11 interceptions, but only 19 touchdowns. So the interceptions came down, but so did the touchdowns. And we can't be having that. The touchdowns need to go up, and the interceptions need to come down. They can't both come down or both go up, because that means you're not improving. You're just throwing the ball more. That's all that means. Then in 2018, this one's real bad. 14 interceptions, 19 touchdowns. And he only played 9 games that season and still figured out a way to throw 14 interceptions. Folks, this is truly not great at all. And then we all know the big 2019 season, the 30 for 30, folks. I just can't even believe it, because this is such an anomaly. Folks. 30 interceptions, 33 touchdowns, but he also threw that coveted 5,000 yard mark. Not only 5,000 yards, 5,100 yards. He got 100 yards over that coveted, that treasured 5,000 yard season. Folks, we gush over Drew Brees because he threw multiple 5,000 yard seasons, and there's only about 8 quarterbacks in NFL history that have thrown for 5,000 or more yards in a season. And the fact that Jameis Winston did that while also throwing 30 interceptions, it's so mind-blowing. It's mind-boggling. That's why he still has something in this league. That's why they don't just toss him in the dumpster and say, all right, you're gone. Bye-bye. The NFL no longer needs you. Thank you for your service, but you're out of here. This is his one saving grace season. They're like, that man really just threw 5,000 yards. Jeez. I guess we got to keep him in the league, and maybe we can work on him. But that's what we need to see from Jameis Winston. Yes, standing in the pocket, big and strong is great, obviously, but we need to see him throw no interceptions. And yes, he did kind of play a little bit last season. Let's take a look at this. He played 4 games. Didn't start any at quarterback for the Saints last year, but 7 completions on 11 attempts, no touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, those are basically nothing. 11 passes is nothing, but that's why we're a little hesitant on wanting to see Jameis Winston in the starting role now, because he knows if he starts throwing interceptions, he's going to get pulled, and I think that's going to affect his ability, his confidence to try to fit the ball into tight windows down the field. He's like, if I throw one interception, the media's going to be on me. Social media is oh my God. The first time Jameis Winston throws a pick, they're going to bring up the 30 for 30 season. They're going to bring up everything, and they're going to be like, all right, same old Jameis Winston. We can start writing him off. He knows all of that is going to come as soon as he throws that first interception. So that's why I don't really want to see the Saints kind of go with him as the starter, because I truly think he's going to be a little kind of hesitant throwing the ball, knowing that kind of interception is it's a gorilla on this man's back, folks. It's King Kong on Jameis Winston's back. Throwing an interception will instantly put him back into this kind of bad picture, bad light. He's kind of gotten himself into some better light, kind of being the backup there for the Saints and kind of taking a year off as a starting quarterback and putting out all this great film, all the kind of great practice film and practice tape, and everybody kind of talking him up. Drew Brees talking him up, Sean Payton talking him up, even Taysom Hill kind of talking him up a little bit. So he's kind of found his way back into some good lighting, and as soon as that interception comes, the first one, maybe not even has to be an interception, maybe just like a dropped interception by the defensive back, the cornerback, whoever it is, I mean, then we're taking Jameis Winston from great light into stormy, rainy, thunderous, raining cats and dog light, and it's going to be over for him. His confidence is going to be shot, and he's going to go back to slinging the ball, which is still solid, but it results into no wins. I mean, he's a career 28 wins, 42 loss quarterback in this league. That's not getting it done. But, he also does have a little bit of a fumbling problem as well. So, this kind of workout here is still good for him, but I think he definitely needs to have to, we want to see the throwing tape. Don't post these videos of you kind of standing strong in the pocket. We know you kind of do that. We need to see you throwing the ball. That's what's going to make us buy into you. That's going to make us buy into you potentially being the starter and kind of rooting and getting behind you to be the starting quarterback for the Saints, because right now we are very close. Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill are very close in our eyes for that starting job, but I think we give it maybe 52% to Taysom Hill, 48% to Jameis Winston right now. But we need, if we could start seeing this man slinging the ball around. I mean, we didn't really see him that much in the mandatory mini camps and the OTAs. We didn't really see any Jameis Winston film, unfortunately. Now, we also didn't see Taysom Hill film, but I mean, if Jameis Winston was slinging the ball around, that film would have been put out mainstream, blasted on the internet, and we never really saw that. Let's go to Jameis Winston's fumbles very quickly, and then we'll move on. But what do we got for fumbles? Where are we at? Rushing, defensive fumbles. All right, here we go. He's fumbled a lot. I mean, folks, we'll just start from the first season, 2015, 6 fumbles, but he only lost 2 of them. He recovered 4 of them. Then in 2016, his second year, 10 fumbles, but only recovered 3 of them, lost 7. And then come 2017, he fumbled 15 times. He led the league in fumbles. Not great. That's never great if your quarterback is throwing interceptions and fumbling, turning the ball over both ways. Never great there. And he lost 8 that year. Jeez, 8 fumbles lost. 2018, 7 fumbles, 2 recovered, so 5 lost. And then his 30 for 30 season, not only did he throw 30 interceptions, folks, not only did he throw 30 interceptions, he also fumbled the ball 12 times and lost 9 of them. He lost 9. That's 39. losses of a football, folks. 39 turnovers, man. And did he have any rushing touchdowns this season? That season, 2019? He had 1 rushing touchdown. So the man was negative overall in the scoring turnover ratio. 34 touchdowns in totality with 39 turnovers while throwing 5,000 yards, folks. I can't get over it. That's why Jameis Winston still holds a little place in our heart here. And that's why we still root for him a little bit, because he has that coveted 5,000 yard season. I'm telling y'all, if he only threw for like 4,200, 4,600, 4,700, he would not be this. He would not be getting a second chance in this league. It is that 5,000 yard mark right there. That's the only thing keeping this man relevant in the league right now. So he's working out, trying to get better. But Jameis, come on, man. Get that confidence up. Start slinging the ball. That's why we hope he learns something from Drew Brees. That's why, once again, why we want to buy into Jameis Winston. We're not trying to knock him and try to bash him and get him out of this league. We want to root for this man. We want to see this man be the starting quarterback in this league. But he needed to work on leadership and ball throwing while under Drew Brees, and now Drew Brees is no longer there, and we just haven't seen it. So I hope he learned that leadership, that kind of breaking down a huddle, no more let's eat a W, and no more 30 interceptions in a season. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, training camp, it's going to be an open quarterback competition there for the Saints, Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, but we'll know more next month. And I hate this. We get this long kind of month period where there's really no football action going on. After the mandatory minicamps, training camps start late July, folks. I'm talking like July 25th, 26th, 27th. That's the start of the training camps, and that's when we're really going to get thrown into the thick of it in the NFL season. But we'll know more by then, unfortunately, and we're hoping that Jameis Winston got better. We're seeing a little workout from him right here, which we do like, but let's see how he's throwing the ball. Alrighty, more kind of comeback seasons here. Jameis Winston trying to have a comeback year, and now players coming off of injury, once again, trying to have a comeback year. This time we're talking about Saquon Barkley. This man is absolutely fantastic. He can try to rival Derrick Henry as the best running back in the league. This man's probably the closest, just kind of pure running back. He does catch the ball out of the backfield, and we are going to bring up his stats in a little bit, but this man's a great runner, a physical runner like Derrick Henry is. Delvin Cook, more of a finesse runner. He's still a little physical. Christian McCaffrey, kind of a two-way player, running the ball and catching the ball out of the backfield. Same thing with Alvin Kamara. And Saquon Barkley, like we said, he does have those kind of, pass-catching stats as well. But we get a nice kind of quick 37-minute clip of this man working, coming back from an ACL tear, an MCL tear, really just destroyed his entire leg, folks, last season. So he's looking real good. The quick cuts, catching the ball, the quick cuts, and just kind of quick footwork there. Breaking on routes, looking real solid. The quads are still there. We can see the quads here in this video, and they're still beefy as heck. And now we get them working out in the sand, which we all know is, tough to run in sand and work out in sand. And this man is still got quick feet in sand, folks. Looking real great out here. So we're definitely hoping for a breakout season for Saquon Barkley, getting back to his original great form, because, folks, how great has this man been? Only in the league for 3 seasons, injured last season, so only really 2 full seasons under his belt. 2018, his rookie year, he rushed for 1,300 yards, which is absolutely fantastic. Getting over that 1,000-yard mark your rookie season, that's big time, folks. James Conner can't even do that 1 year, and he's been in here, 6 years, 5 years. Being the only running back for the Steelers, having all the opportunity to do so, but Saquon Barkley, year 1, that's why we are big on Saquon Barkley. And not only did he have 1,300 yards rushing, he added 721 yards receiving as well for an overall 2,000 yards from scrimmage in his rookie year, really putting himself on the map. Fantastic. And then in 2019, once again, got a little tweak there, missed 3 games, but in only 13 games starting, he still rushed for 1,000 yards, folks. It was barely 1,000, but it's still 1,000, so we still give the man credit. 1,003 yards in 2019, his second year, his sophomore year in the league, still looking good. And you kind of extrapolate, he was averaging what? How many yards a game? We got 77 yards a game. So if you times that by 3 games, we're talking about 7, 14, 21. We're talking about 1,200 yards at the minimum. Year 2, we're still loving that. And he also put up 400 yards receiving as well that season. And then, unfortunately, getting injured real early on in 2020 and not able to go for the rest of the season. So we know this man can run the ball. He's absolutely fantastic. This Giants team is primed to win now. They got the receiving help. Daniel Jones is ready to make that year 3 leap like Josh Allen did. And if they can just have Saquon Barkley back to what he was doing his rookie year, we're talking about they'll win the division, folks. I'll give the Giants the win of the division if Saquon Barkley is looking all healthy and Daniel Jones is looking the way that we predict that he will look this season, which is kind of Josh Allen-esque. Josh Allen, not that great statistically his first 2 seasons, and then absolutely blew up year 3. I've never seen anything like that, and I think that Daniel Jones can do the same thing. Him running the ball, having wide receiver on wide receiver on wide receiver. They got speedy wide receivers. They got tall wide receivers. They got speedy, tall wide receivers. They got the bailout option at the tight end position of Evan Ingram for a quick check down. And then you also got Saquon Barkley. Check down, running game, everything that you need. So Daniel Jones is primed. Josh Allen wasn't that primed, folks. I mean, he had Devin Singletary behind him, which is still, he's good. I'm not going to put him as great or elite or top 10 running back in the league, and he only had really one good wide receiver, and it's a real good one. We're not disrespecting anybody on the Bills, but Stephon Diggs, I mean, he's very great, and besides that, what do we got? Cole Beasley? We got Cole Beasley. All right, he's all right. Once again, he's good. He's Devin Singletary good, but Stephon Diggs is elite, so Josh Allen really just kind of worked on his talent in year 3, didn't really have to rely on the weapons, where Daniel Jones, I mean, he could just rely on the weapons. Daniel Jones doesn't even have to throw the football that good. He just has to get it there because there's talent all around him. So that's why we think truly Daniel Jones is primed to have this breakout year 3 come this year. And if Saquon Barkley can be a part of that, this Giants team will win the division. They will blow by the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense will not be able to stop anything on this Giants team. The Eagles, I mean, they're meh. New head coach. Jalen Hurts is good, but still second year. And then Washington, I mean, yeah, their defense is good, but their offense, I mean, Taylor Heineke, he played one game and kind of impressed us, but then you got Ryan Fitzpatrick, the turnover king, the gunslinger, the 8-8 kind of average 50-50 winner. So the Giants can truly be primed, but they need Saquon Barkley back big time. Who's their number 2 running back? Let's just say, for instance, out here, we're going to knock on wood big time here, but let's just say for some gosh awful reason, Saquon Barkley can't go this year for whatever reason. We're not even going to say anything. We don't even want to put that out there. But gosh forbid anything happens. Let's see who's their backup. Who they got? Who they got as their number 2 running back? Can they make it work? Devontae Booker. No, he cannot. What did he do last year? 423 yards. Yeah, that man. No. Yeah, so this Giants team just desperately needs Saquon Barkley. He's looking real good. He's looking real strong, looking real physical here in the kind of quick 37 clip of him just working out. But if his legs can hold up, the Giants are going to be Super Bowl do I go that far? We'll go deep playoff run contenders. We'll leave it at that. I don't know if I'm ready to claim Super Bowl just quite yet, but deep playoff contenders with Saquon Barkley. Alrighty, and another player trying to have that comeback season. We get OBJ. Once again, he's coming back from an ACL tear. Truly unfortunate. And this man is just absolutely sprinting, folks. When I mean sprinting, I mean sprinting on this treadmill. I don't even think I would be able to do this pace, honestly, without holding on to the bars for dear life. This man is big, kind of arm extension, running on this treadmill. Now, it's only a 4-second clip, but hey, he's able to kind of run to be that elite speedster that we know OBJ is. He's fast and he's athletic as all heck. the big catch that got him in the mark, reaching back out of bounds, one-handed catch. But, this Browns team, once again, they need OBJ. Yes, they're kind of good. They're solid without him, like the Giants are. The Browns have an absolutely great running game. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, absolutely two stellar running backs. You've got Baker Mayfield with, let's bring up their depth chart, because I know they got Jarvis Landry. Their tight end is absolutely amazing as well. I'm blanking on the name. Let's get their depth chart up really quickly. But, just really kind of OBJ puts them over the mark. Same thing with Saquon Barkley, puts them over the mark. And the fact that they're both working out here, coming back from the same injury. Saquon Barkley a little bit more complicated because he had the ACL and MCL tear. But the Browns here, Jarvis Landry, Rashad Higgins, absolutely great year last year. He's a great, 6'1" wide receiver, can get it done. They got the tight end Austin Hooper, once again, can get it done. So they've got other pieces, but OBJ just puts them over the top. And can we talk about their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, just knows how to work this offense with Baker Mayfield. And if you're adding OBJ right back into the mix, now we've got kind of the vertical threat. Jarvis Landry, a little bit kind of, the little kind of finesser over the middle of the field, nice slants routes, able to get open real quickly. But OBJ, he can be your deep threat. So once again, OBJ, if he's healthy 100% back, he's looking like it, folks. Does he look like he's got torn ACLs? Look at these legs moving. Look at these knees going, folks. He is going quick as quick can be. I wish we got the exact kind of miles per hour on this treadmill, but it's so fast the entire thing is shaking. So I don't know what that means. That means it's fast. So we'll see how they actually work out onto the field. Like we said, next month, man, end of July, everything that's coming out here is just going to kind of be, off facility, off site, nothing on field. But, we can still, get hype and speculate and look at and, just putting that tape out there. We'll buy into if you're doing all the right things and looking good doing it. And OBJ, Jameis Winston, Saquon Barkley, that's kind of what they're doing. So we'll buy into these players and hopefully they can kind of show us what they can do on the field come training camp at the end of next month. But OBJ, man, if he can get back to prime OBJ, absolutely fantastic. That's what the Browns need, and that could be potentially what brings this Browns team over the Chiefs, because we just saw them kind of be real competitive with them in the playoffs last season. Just unfortunately, lost a close one. But if they had that OBJ that had that kind of over-the-top weapon, they can go and rival them, and potentially, once again, the Browns can be deep. We're talking about AFC Championship deep playoff contenders, but they need OBJ there to be that vertical threat. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. And man, oh man, I hate this, man. I hate this Xavier Howard. We kind of touched on it, I think, last week. But he's holding out. He didn't show up to the mandatory minicamps. Truly unfortunate. He wants more money. He was the best defensive player last year. Led the league in interceptions. Led the league in pass defenses. And he wants to kind of get paid again. We just signed him. He just signed a contract extension last season, before last season started. And then he balled out and now wants to renegotiate. And it's just frustrating to see that. You obviously, you want your players out there. I'm a Dolphins fan. We do root for them. But I hate that he's holding out, man. You just got more money. Now you want more money? Come on. Don't be that selfish, right? I get it. Get your money when you can. But at the same time, it's like, what are we just supposed to do? I mean, if you wanted to kind of, get more money every year, then sign 1-year deals. I mean, do that. No, nobody likes to do that because they want security. That's why everybody wants a 4 or 5 year deal to get that security. All right, I'm at least getting paid for 5 years here, and it's going to be a big number because it's over 5 years. And if anything happens to me, I get injured, that's still kind of in the contract. I can still get paid. I'm still getting paid for those years I'm coming back, and I don't have to reprove myself to get another contract, and then I start at the bottom. But that's why everybody asks for the big deal. But Xavier Howard's going to think like this: hey, I'm just going to get paid on what I did last season, in the last season alone. Then you better be signing 1-year deals. And if that's his mindset, you should have thought about that before you signed last year's contract extension. So let's break down these numbers to truly just see how great this man is as a cornerback. So the most interceptions since 2018. Xavier Howard is number 1 with 22. Kevin Byard is number 2 at 18. J.C. Jackson's number 3 at 17. Marcus Peters is also at number 3 with 17. Harrison Smith is at 16. Tre'Davious White is at 15. Tyrann Mathieu, our boy, out there with 14. And Darius Slay also with 14. But the big thing here is that Xavier Howard's missed a lot of games, folks. He's missed 15 games since 2018, and he still was able to lead the league in interceptions. Kevin Byard played 48 games and was still only to have 18 interceptions, while Xavier Howard played 33. That's 15 games less and still was able to have 4 more interceptions. K.C. Jackson played 45 games for his 17 interceptions. Marcus Peters played 46 games for his 17 interceptions. Tre'Davious White played 45 games for his 15 interceptions. So the fact that this man was still missing time and was still leading the league and balling out and still one of the best cornerbacks since 2018, getting turnovers, I mean, obviously he deserves to get paid, but still, at the end of the day, what are we supposed to do? Just kind of have to pay you every year, renegotiate your contract every year? It's unfortunate that it doesn't work like that. Imagine if Patrick Mahomes did that, man. He just signed a 10-year deal. Could you imagine if Xavier Howard signed a 10-year deal and Patrick Mahomes goes and wins the Super Bowl and now he's like, all right, let's renegotiate this contract. It's like, no, we just gave you $450 million. We signed you for 10 years. You got your big deal. We're not renegotiating. That's why we signed you for 10 years, to get you a little bit on a bargain. We still respected you by giving you about, $45 million a year, which is absolutely great. But it's like, what are we doing? Nobody renegotiates. That's why they get you in a contract. And I know it's unfair. Hey, I overperformed this season. I still don't get, more money. It's unfortunate, but that's what you kind of negotiate for your next contract. And it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, unfortunately, you don't get paid for what you do. You kind of get paid for what you have done, Oh, all right, your rookie deal, easy. It's only like $20 million, $25 million. Nothing big, but then you look good during those 4 years, and then you get the big deal. Then you get the Patty Mahomes $450 million, $500 million deal, but you always get paid for what you have done. You never get paid for what you're doing, folks. You always get paid for what you've done. So we'll see if Xavier Howard is truly holding out. Hopefully he shows up to training camp. I mean, we don't want to have to trade this man. We don't have to want to let this man go. He's elite, folks. He gets the turnovers. That's all you can ask for. So it's just truly unfortunate, man. Xavier Howard holding out, wanting more money, and kind of putting himself in front of the team, because the Dolphins, we're right on the door knocking of, deep playoff run contenders out here. And, if Xavier Howard's not going to show up and we have to get rid of him, once again, our defense kind of, takes a little bit of a hit. And I believe Brian Flores can still kind of replace Xavier Howard, but still, whoever he replaces Xavier Howard with, it's not going to be this elite, because we've seen nobody else be this elite. So just a little frustrating here, having one of your big players on your team wanting to hold out for really no reason, because he had a good year last year. Okay, it was the COVID year. There was no fans in the stands. There was no kind of, it was light practices, everything virtual. All right, you had a good year there. Prove what you can do this year with the crowds rocking and roaring, full crowds. Everybody's having full stadiums, full packed stadiums for every single game. No more of this empty stadium. Once again, this is going to be a big season for a lot of these players. Can they keep up the standard that they just set last season? Josh Allen is truly at the forefront of this because, he hasn't played good until the COVID year. Empty fans in the stands. So it's going to be real interesting to this is going to be kind of a, just kind of a side narrative to kind of keep track of as the NFL season progresses. What are these players that did absolutely, amazing, folks? We talked about it all the time, like kind of inflated completion percentage. Now everyone's throwing 64 to 65%. That was kind of great. That was great from like 2010 to like 2018. That was kind of our metric. But now last season, everybody playing real great on the completion percentage. We may have to adjust the numbers. We're not going to do that quite yet. We got to see how this season plays out, but that's something to take a look at. players that overperformed last season, was that due to empty fans in the stands and having kind of no outside pressure, being able to hear everything that your offensive play caller is saying, that your team is saying, not having to kind of yell over the crowd and can you hear me? The roaring fans are over here. You can't hear me. I'm trying to call a play. You can't even hear me. The crowd noise is drowning me out. So we'll see how players kind of adjust to that. So Xavier Howard, if you truly want your money, go out and ball out this season. Let's see it. So something to keep an eye on, something to kind of look forward to. But man, oh man, Xavier Howard, man, come on, man, come on. I want to see everybody get paid. I want to see everybody get $450 million contracts. I feel like everybody's underpaid. The NFL makes so much, folks. Like the money that the NFL and owners are able to make. I mean, they're able to pay Patrick Mahomes $450 million and still make millions of profit, folks. I mean, that's just, think about how much these players are getting. I mean, folks, think about how much you're getting paid in your daily life. You might be, oh my God, I'm getting kind of paid, $70,000 a year. I mean, I think I'm getting paid pretty gosh darn well. But the company is able to pay you that because they're making so much more money. So, I think everybody's getting underpaid here in the NFL. But Xavier Howard, I know you want your money, but go out and prove it. Go get that next deal. Get it. I think he's under contract for 3 more seasons. So, in 3 years, bring up all this. Hey, you want me? You want to keep this? You want to keep what I'm doing here? Then pay me my money or I'll walk, because somebody will. It may not be the greatest team. I may have to go down to, one of the bottom 3 teams in the league because they're desperate for my help. But this is my price, man. And if you're not going to meet it, I just proved what I can do for y'all. I proved it the last 3 years. Not I proved it 1 year and I want to, renegotiate my contract. It doesn't work like that. And I'm a little disappointed that he had to hold out for that. So we'll keep an eye on Xavier Howard. Hopefully he's not actually holding out. Him and Aaron Rodgers, we'll see come training camp who the actual holdouts are. But I'm hoping that it's not going to be Xavier Howard. Alrighty, while we're on the topic of contract, let's give a little respect and a little credit to Lamar Jackson over here. So Lamar Jackson is kind of primed to have a big payday. Not a huge payday like Patrick Mahomes, not, 10-year, $450 million. But this man is still looking good here, and this is kind of, the way the NFL is kind of progressing in the passing game. Yeah, you need to be a great passer, but you also have to have a little something else. Little foot game, little footwork, little speed game. I mean, that's what's winning Super Bowls, folks. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, he's the outlier. He's kind of, the old school that is still somehow, I don't know, man. I watch Tom Brady every year, and I'm like, this man still has it. Nobody can still stop this man after 20 years. I don't get it, but he's still doing his thing out there. But the speed of the NFL is truly changing, and you are going to have a quarterback that can kind of move a little bit. And Lamar Jackson is definitely in that category of quarterbacks that can move a little bit. I would say move a lot a bit on this man. But Lamar Jackson, he is negotiating a monster contract extension without an agent. And I respect the heck out of that. I don't need the agent. No. I'm not giving 10%. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, $450 million, 10% of that going to the agent, that's $45 million right off the rip. You're not even getting paid $450 million anymore. You're 405 with the $45 million out. I mean, everybody wants this money. Everybody wants the 10%. Hey, I'm just taking the 10%. Let me get 10%. All right, well, here's your 10%. And then you got this other person. Hey, can I get the 10%? I did this for you. Yeah, I guess I give you the 10%. All right, and then you got this guy, 10% here, 10% there, 10% there. It's like, now I'm down to, $300 million. It's like, where did this $150 million go? All these useless people out here that think they deserve a little hand in the cookie jar? So I'm loving that Lamar Jackson is kind of taking it up upon himself, and Lamar Jackson's mom, Felicia Jones, is his business manager. Yeah, keep it in the family. I'll pay my mom 10%. I got no problem with that. I'll pay my family 10% because it's keeping it in the family. We're growing generational wealth over here. If I'm eating, we all eating. Here's 10% for you. I'll hand out 10% to my family. No big deal. But 10% to this stranger, okay. 10% to this man, this crazy guy. Yeah, I guess he did something. Here's 10%. No. So Lamar Jackson's trying to get his while also trying to give his family his and trying to get the most of his that he can. So I respect the heck out of that. You know what you want in your contract as a player. Obviously, having an agent is kind of the norm, but, break away from the norm. We've got other players that have done this. This is not kind of out of the realm, out of the ordinary. And I feel like kind of the team maybe is trying to put this story out here as a negative, like the Ravens be like, psh, get a load of this guy. He's trying to negotiate without an agent? Like trying to get social media to attack him, trying to just get people to attack him, be like, hey, Lamar, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. But it's been done before, folks. This is not out of the norm. Who do we got here? We got a couple of players here. DeAndre Hopkins just negotiated his contract without an agent, and he made himself the highest paid NFL wide receiver for the Cardinals. It could be done there. Fantastic. We also get a little quote here. Many pundits have credited him for being able to negotiate a no-trade clause and no franchise tag deal in his contract. So once again, I mean, he's getting everything. All the money. Hey, y'all not going to trade me. That no-trade clause, that's in there. That's in there. That's coming from me. That's coming from me, the horse's mouth. Here it is. Here's my horse mouth. It's opening and closing. No trade clause. Nay. So DeAndre Hopkins did it. Fantastic for him. Russell Okung has done it. Richard Sherman, one of the elite corners in this league, have done it, negotiating a contract for himself. And he also, what do we got here? He also negotiated kind of heavy incentives, kind of, all right, if I get this many interceptions, this many pass defenses, this many wins, this many kind of points allowed, kind of small amount of points allowed, all of that stuff. And he got paid and hit all of those bonuses. Those, let's read this because this is pretty good. Just a quick quote. Speaking of betting on himself, Richard Sherman, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL since he stepped foot into the league, was criticized for negotiating a heavy incentivized contract coming off an Achilles injury. Once again, coming off of an injury, still able to sell himself, getting everything he wanted. In signing with the San Francisco 49ers, those some critiques, or I guess this man should have said, or was trying to say, those same critiques. I mean, look at these people. Look at this website. Misspellings, not great. But we move on. Those same critiques those same critics bite their words when Richard Sherman was able to hit all of his bonuses and more since he signed with the 49ers. So he kind of overproved himself on the field from what his contract did. And people were still kind of digging in that contract. So fantastic. And then we get Bobby Wagner. And then look at this. Laramie Tunsil negotiated his own contract. And man, what a steal that man did. This man can't stay healthy or be on a winning football team. And he made himself the highest paid lineman. And he wasn't even in the league for like 4 seasons. He's the highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL because of his own negotiation. So you give that man a ton of credit. So back to Lamar Jackson here. Absolutely, this man can get it done. Abso-freaking-lutely, folks. So I'm all for Lamar Jackson. I'm giving him all kind of, the well wishes, the best wishes. Go get that money. Don't give the 10%. You don't need these agents. You know what you want in your contract. Stay firm. Just make sure you read it carefully. Make sure everything's good. I would say the kind of biggest reason to have an agent, just because of the language in kind of these kind of, because the Ravens are going to be having their lawyers absolutely all over that kind of contract. Absolutely, the fine print, just kind of the rewording. Hey, go to section 6, and then that's something completely different that kind of voids everything that you're kind of reading. All right, we'll give you no trade clause. Just kind of small print right there. Refer to page 7, and then you go to page 7. We have the right to trade you whenever we want, and the trade clause is null and void if we think that you should be traded. So it's just, that's why I would probably have an agent, but just hire a lawyer, one-time fee. Hey, I'll give you, not 10%, I'll give you a couple grand over here. Just make sure there's no kind of sneaky, snaky language in this contract. But the players know what they want, folks. You don't need an agent. An agent just kind of does it for you so you have free time to not do it. But if you got nothing to do, just kind of laying around. Yeah, all right. I'll take this kind of, month break before training camp starts, and I'll just kind of sit back, relax. I'll read this contract and be like, all right, that's looking good. I do want the no trade clause. Let me circle this. I'll bring that back up in the negotiations. What is this? All right, if I play well, let me put some incentives in here for myself. If I pass 5,000 yards, I want to get paid for that. That's a big milestone. Yes, sir. So I'm all for Lamar Jackson negotiating his own contract. Let's see what this man can do. Him and his mom, Felicia Jones, his business manager, sitting down, seeing what they want, getting it done, and it's been proven to work before. So if you see this story, if you see this try to be kind of a bashing story, don't fall for it, folks. Don't fall for it. It's been done before. This is not out of the norm. Go get your money. All about it. Alrighty, last kind of NFL story to talk about here. We're going to go through this, I don't know, maybe quickly, maybe in depth. I don't know. We did not preview this. I just wanted to talk about it and see what they're talking about. So, a tweet here by Bleacher Report Gridiron. One trade and every NFL team should offer before training camp. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we agree with this. Obviously, all these trades may not be, 100% logical. They're just saying, hey, this team may need a quarterback. This team may need a wide receiver. Go and get this guy. Maybe this guy kind of, maybe solidifies the team overall. So we'll see what they're saying here. Do we agree? Do we disagree? Interesting, not interesting? So we'll see what we get here. So one trade each NFL team should offer before training camp starts. Here we go. What do we got? Number 1, the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, no. All right, we got to stop this. No. We're not even putting this out there. We just talked about this. No. Damn it. So they say the Arizona Cardinals should go and trade for cornerback Xavier Howard. Damn it. I don't even want this to be out there anyway. I don't want this in the universe. Ugh. So, we just talked about it. Xavier Howard a little unhappy, wants to get paid, all this nonsense, holding out. And the Cardinals, they just lost Patrick Peterson. They bring in, what's this man's name? Butler. Dang it. What is that man's name? Let's get it up. Darn it. Cardinals depth chart. Butler, the cornerback from the Patriots and then from the Titans. So they didn't really kind of replace Patrick Peterson. We know that man's going to the Hall of Fame. That man's fantastic. But they bring in Malcolm Butler. So they still got Jalen Thompson, Byron Murphy as their other corner, and then Malcolm Butler. So, yeah, the Cardinals definitely should go and get kind of an A1, Tier 1 lockdown corner that would truly kind of solidify that defense overall. And that is kind of the missing piece here by the Cardinals. We kind of said a good running back or a great cornerback. We've kind of said this already. So that would be a pretty interesting trade there for the Arizona Cardinals, and they would just offer up a 2022 second-round pick. Oh, please, geez, I can't deal with this anymore. But Xavier Howard would kind of perfect this Cardinals defense, and that would definitely be a good trade to do. I would kind of agree with that. All right, here we go. The Atlanta Falcons, they should go and get Bears wide receiver Anthony Miller. I don't know. No. The Falcons, we love everything about their wide receiver game. I don't think they need anything else. Their pass catching game is going to be absolutely fantastic. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, you're going to have Kadarius Toney at the tight end position. You may be able to kind of move him to wide receiver as well. He could be a great number 2 wide receiver. And then you still have Hayden Hurst at the tight end position. So I don't think the Falcons should go and get a wide receiver. They desperately need that kind of great running back. And that's kind of what running back can you trade for at the current moment? That's really the tough question here. There's really no, you're obviously not going to trade Saquon Barkley. That's your man. That's your face of the franchise. You're not doing that with Derrick Henry either, face of the franchise as well. So there's really just no real great. You've got the free agent in Le'Veon Bell, but that's not a trade. You don't have to trade for that. But, I don't really agree. If the Falcons would trade for anybody, it's going to be a defender. I think they're all set offensively, honestly, besides the running back position. So I don't really, I don't love that wide receiver Anthony Miller of the Bears trade. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. All right, here we go with the Ravens. They say that the Ravens should try and trade for Michael Thomas. All righty. Once again, this is not going to happen. The Saints aren't going to lose their A1, Tier 1 wide receiver, their go-to guy, especially when you got these new quarterbacks that are not Drew Brees. Now, you're going to get them at least 1 year acclimated with a great wide receiver. Then maybe next year when you start kind of soft rebuilding a little bit on your perimeter in the weapons. But the Ravens, I mean, they bring in Sammy Watkins. Obviously, Michael Thomas is a big upgrade for that. They want Michael Thomas for the deep threat. But then they also drafted Rashad Bateman, who's 6'2", who can also kind of go deep a little bit as well. So I think they kind of, set their feet on what they want. Just going to try and rock with what they've got. And I don't think Michael Thomas is anywhere close up for sale. All right, the Buffalo Bills, what do they got? They want to trade for tight end Zach Ertz. All righty, who's their tight end right now? I think it's pretty solid. Isn't it Dawson Knox? He's pretty solid, no? Let's see what he did last season. Obviously, Zach Ertz is pretty solid. He's kind of one of these OG great pass-catching tight ends before all these kind of new age Travis Kelce. He may have been kind of in the same kind of draft close class with Travis Kelce, but kind of one of these OG ones before we get George Kittle and Darren Waller and Kyle Pitts. But Dawson Knox last year, what did this man do? He only had 288 yards. Damn. All right, a little light there. He had 3 touchdowns. Not terrible. But, yeah, I mean, that would be fine. I mean, once again, the Bills, I mean, they've got solid pieces everywhere. Tight end could definitely help them out a little bit more of a pass-catching tight end. You definitely need that in the league, folks. I mean, that's what's winning. Look at just last year's Super Bowl. The Chiefs with Travis Kelce, who was actually kind of their second leading pass catcher on the team overall. And then you had the Patriots, who had Rob Gronkowski and... Damn, I'm blanking on the other guy. The other guy was great too. Starts with a C. Cameron? Damn it. Do I really have to look that up? I'm a little upset. I'm blanking on the name. Let's get that up. Darn it. Cameron something. I'm doubling down on Cameron. Let's see. Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Brate, yeah. And then they also have O.J. Howard. I mean, he was out last season, but he's still great as heck. So, obviously, you need tight ends in this league. So, yeah, Zach Ertz with, a great passer of the football in Josh Allen, and then you've still got weapons everywhere. That's a decent trade for the Bills. All right, the Carolina Panthers. Okay. They say that they should try and trade for Gardner Minshew. Okay. I would say no. I mean, this is, Matt Rule, the head coach for the Panthers, is really kind of set. They're really set on having Sam Darnold be the guy. They don't even really want quarterback competition. That's why they got rid of Teddy Bridgewater. If they wanted quarterback competition, they would have kept Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, it's kind of as simple as that. But and then Gardner Minshew wants to be the starter, so I don't really think that trade makes any sense, and I don't think any one of these parties, the Jags or the Panthers, would even engage in these talks. So I don't agree there at all, not at all. 0% agree. All right, here we go. The Bears. They should hang on. They should trade away Anthony Miller. They're just trying to get rid of this Anthony Miller guy. Jeez. The Bears don't have that many great wide receivers to work with anyway, and you want to get rid of some? Bringing in Justin Fields? I mean, he needs all the weapons that they need, that they've got, really. Let's bring up the Bears depth chart really quickly. I mean, they've got their big name, their great name. I'm going to get it in a second. Allen Robinson, he's their A1 Tier 1 guy. He made Mitch Trubisky look good. But Anthony Miller, he's kind of their number 2 now. They got him listed as their number 3 here. Interesting. They got him ahead of, behind Darnell Mooney, who caught 630 yards last season. What did Anthony Miller do last year? What do you got? 485 yards? Okay. But I don't really think the Bears are in a position to get rid of one of their wide receivers. They still do have Marquise Goodwin. He's been pretty all right in his career. Nothing great, nothing bad. Good little average, solid wide receiver out there. But, yeah, they just want the Bears to get rid of him. I mean, they don't even try to get any player. They just, all right, here's a wide receiver for a second-round pick next year. All righty. I don't agree with that either. All right, but let's keep going. The Bengals, what do they got for him? They say that they should trade and try and go for Eagles guard Brandon Brooks. Alrighty, the Bengals, I mean, they definitely need to shore up that line to protect Joe Burrow a little bit. But didn't they also draft a lineman in this year's draft? Do I still got that up? Still got the draft up? I thought I did. Here we go. I think it was their second round pick. The Bengals, where are we at? The Bengals. Yeah, they just drafted an offensive tackle from Clemson in their second round. So do they really need another one? This is a guard, I guess, interior. All right. I wouldn't knock the idea. All right, the Cleveland Browns, they should try and trade for linebacker Leighton Vander Esch for the Cowboys. I'm a big fan of Leighton Vander Esch. I think he's pretty solid. And this Browns team, let's bring up their kind of depth chart on what they're doing defensively. Because they've got, great pass rushers. They just brought in Jadeveon Clowney. They still got Myles Garrett. They just went and got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah that we truly do believe in. We have him number 1 ranked on our big board for linebackers. Then they got Anthony Walker in CNT Tekiati. I butchered that. But, yeah, maybe, another kind of veteran piece out there to help out the defense. I've got no problem with that. And then only offering up a third-round draft pick in next year's draft, that's not bad either. All right, and then, for the Cowboys, they say the same thing. They should try and actively trade Leighton Vander Esch to the Bengals. All righty. The Denver Broncos, they should go all in for Aaron Rodgers. 2022 first-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, 2023 first-round pick. Jeez Louise, but I don't think they need that. We're big on what they've already got. We're big on Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a step above Teddy Bridgewater. Nobody's saying that he's not. But I don't think you need to go out and sell out your future to go and get Aaron Rodgers. And I don't like that kind of Aaron Rodgers is going to get kind of bailed out here with that big attitude. It's going to be the same thing with the Broncos. Do the Broncos not understand that if you do trade for Aaron Rodgers, you are going to have to kiss the freaking ground that this man walks on and have to tiptoe around all your responses about any criticism or critique around this man? So that's why I wouldn't really trade for Aaron Rodgers. He's kind of going out of his prime a little bit, this huge ego. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's in a win now mentality, and if you're not winning, he's going to be slandering your entire organization like he's been doing with the Packers. So for that reason alone, I wouldn't go after the man. I just wouldn't. And I wouldn't sell out my future next 2-year first-round picks. No, absolutely not. I mean, Aaron Rodgers wants first-round picks. No, that's the big thing. They're not giving me any help. They're only drafting defense. They're drafting my replacement with the first overall pick, the first-round pick. And now you're giving away your first-round picks? He's going to be like, now you're not giving me any help. So I don't agree, man. I truly don't with anything that Aaron Rodgers is doing. We get it. You're great. All right, congrats. Try to win now. Try to win yourself. Can you win yourself? No? Tom Brady did it. He had no problem winning by himself. No help on his team at all. Decent defense. Packers have had great defenses. Sam Shields kind of bailing you out multiple times in those playoff games. Game-sealing interceptions. So, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't like this trade at all. I would rock with Teddy Bridgewater. I would rather live and die by Teddy Bridgewater than bring in the egomaniac of Aaron Rodgers. I truly would. All right. Detroit Lions now. Who should they be trading for? Here we go. They should go and get the Cardinals linebacker Chandler Jones. Alright, he's real great as well. He can rush the passer pretty well, pretty good as well. But the Lions, I mean, they've got so many holes. I mean, they would be thankful to have anybody on their team, honestly. I mean, honestly, they would. We'll give you everybody. Well, we want everybody. We'll give you first round picks for anybody out here. We just need something, please. All right, the Green Bay Packers, they should go out and get an offensive guard, Andrew Norwell. All right, protect Aaron Rodgers a little bit. But once again, Aaron Rodgers want weapons. No, stop with these linemen. Yeah, okay, protect them, but he's got no problem kind of walking out of the pocket, rolling out of the pocket. If things do get heavy, obviously you wouldn't, that's not the preferred thing to have. To have a clean pocket's always more preferred. But once again, Aaron Rodgers, he wants the weapons. He doesn't have enough weapons, right? He wants a better play caller, right? I don't know, man. All right, the Houston Texans, they should go out and get, once again, they got a lot of holes to fill as well. They'd be thankful to have anybody on their team. But they say that they should go out and get Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith. All righty. What do the Texans have as linebacker? What do they even have as their freaking defense? All we talk about on the show is Deshaun Watson. That's really it. All right. They got some good they got good pieces offensively. Deshaun Watson, quarterback, David Johnson running it back, and then you still got Phillip Lindsay as your number 2, and then Mark Ingram as your number 3. Folks, that is running back by committee right there. I love that. Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Kiki Cutie, and then Jordan Akins as the tight end position. But they truly have some great playmakers on that squad offensively. Let's go to defense now. What do they got? Anything good? They got Whitney Merciless. They're a linebacker. Zach Cunningham, linebacker. Christian Kritsky. Nothing really great there. They got nothing great either on their defensive backs. So really any defensive player, that would definitely be a big upgrade for the Texans. I would definitely endorse that all day. All right, the Colts, they should go out and get Zach Ertz. All righty. The Colts truly don't need anybody else. Who's their current tight end? Let's get that up. We know that they're kind of real solid everywhere. That's kind of why we are big and think the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl, because they're kind of really great at every position. They got Jack Doyle. What did he do last year? 251 yards. What did Zach Ertz do? Because I don't even think he's close to kind of like that 1,000-yard mark that these kind of A1, Tier 1 tight ends are doing in this league now. Let's get Zach Ertz. Why is Zach Ertz this kind of sought after? I know he does want out of Philly, but what is he doing catching the ball? Oh, he did break 1,000 in 2018. That's pretty. Oh, okay. 2019 he had 900, and then just last year only 335. But he only played 11 games, and he wasn't kind of a main focal point of the offense. So, all right, Zach Ertz can get it done. He's kind of averaging about 800 yards a season when he actually gets played a lot. All righty, so we can get behind Zach Ertz totally. And yeah, he would definitely be a big upgrade for that Bills team. Championship win now mode. Same thing with the Colts. Really kind of taking that team to the next level. So yeah, Zach Ertz. I would expect the trade to get done. I would expect Zach Ertz to get dealt before training camp starts. It's just where is he going to go? Bills or the Colts? Obviously, we would like to see the Colts, because we do believe that they can win the Super Bowl, and this would just add that extra layer. So I would say Zach Ertz does get dealt, and we'll see what happens. All right, the Jaguars, they say that they should trade Gardner Minshew to the Broncos for a second-round pick. And if he goes to the Broncos, I would have no problem with that. It would, increase that quarterback competition. We would like to see Teddy Bridgewater get the nod, but we kind of liked what we saw from Gardner Minshew as well. That would kind of put Drew Lock as the number 3, unfortunately. I would put Teddy B1, Gardner Minshew 2. But, and then he would be able to actually compete for a starting job, not a fake starting job like the Jaguars are kind of saying out here. Oh, my God, yeah. It's so close, this quarterback competition. It's really, we can't even name a starter right now. It's going to be real close. No, it's not. We know that's all bogus. So, yeah, give Gardner Minshew what he wants, have a chance to be the starting quarterback. We kind of said some homes for this man already. The Packers, if they truly are done with Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers next season being the guy, absolutely he can beat out whatever trash Mason Rudolph and Josh Dobbs and Dwayne Haskins showed. He can easily beat all them out to be the next quarterback for the Steelers next season when Big Ben retires. And then who was that third? Darn, we had a third. It was the Packers, the Steelers. I'm kind of blanking. It wasn't the Broncos. That's not. We did not put him in there because we wanted to see Teddy Bridgewater win the job. But yeah, Gardner Minshew to the Broncos. That's not bad. All right, Kansas City Chiefs, what do they got? All right, they just want to trade for the Jaguars offensive guard, Andrew Norwell. Once again, pretty solid there to just protect Patrick Mahomes. We know they drafted an offensive lineman did they draft him or did they get him in free agency? One of those two, they kind of spent a lot of money for their next offensive lineman to protect Patty Mahomes out there. But I don't know if the Jaguars would be willing to kind of trade a guard, an offensive lineman, because you want to try to protect, your new guy, Trevor Lawrence. All right, the Raiders, they say that they should go out and trade for Aaron Rodgers. Once again, I mean, Aaron Rodgers with John Gruden, that's not going to work. I can tell you right off the rip, that will not work, folks. John Gruden, I mean, I don't think he'd kind of get along. They just would not get along. I don't think their personalities would get along. They're kind of big, outspoken, both of them. They both think whatever they're doing is the right thing, and they would just clash, and that would not work at all. So I don't want to see this, but once again, they have the Raiders wanting to kind of sell out their future here, trading their 2022 first round pick, 2022 second round pick, 2023 first round pick for Aaron Rodgers. Once again, I mean, they've got the speed and the wide receivers to kind of, help Aaron Rodgers. That's kind of the help he wants, and he's got once again a great running game. But just once again, it's not going to work. You're still going to have the same ego of Aaron Rodgers. That's not going to ever leave him. He'll always find a place to kind of complain about, because that's going to kind of reflect on that's going to kind of, hey, I'm passing the buck to y'all. It's the team, man. It's the organization. It's the coaches. They're all just trash and not helping me out, giving me no help out here. But what more help do you need? You have an A1 Tier 1 running back. You have an A1 Tier 1 wide receiver. You have an A1 Tier 1 tight end, Robert Tonyan. What more does Aaron Rodgers need, man? That's what we're saying out here. And I just don't think the Raiders would be a great fit for him at all, truly. So I don't like it. I want Aaron Rodgers to stay put, not playing for the Packers, benched on the Packers. That's what I really want to see. All right, the Chargers, they say, oh my goodness, they should go out and trade for Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, a high priority out here, and I rightfully so. We just looked at the yards. That's exactly what you need as the tight end position, not Tim Tebow. This is a true tight end right here. 800 potential, has the potential to reach that 1,000-yard mark. I mean, folks, that's what gets it done in this league. Travis Kelce, look at what that man did. I don't want to bring up his stats, but I can. I mean, it's not because it's going to prove me wrong. It's because we don't need to do that in the show today. It's just, he's fantastic. But Chargers with Zach Ertz. Let's bring up the Chargers depth chart very quickly. Who they got as their tight end. And we know they're kind of, they bring in this new head coach to try to put him over the edge for these close wins. They've got Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Kareem Allen. They got Jared Cook, though. I got this man at the tight end. Now, he is kind of aging out of this league a little bit. I want to say he's high 30s, no? 34, okay. But he's kind of aging out of this league. He's been, a great, let's bring up stats. He's been a great tight end in this league. What's his max receiving yards? I mean, just last season, 700 yards. In 2019, 700 yards. 2018, 800 yards. So, yeah, I mean, this man can get it done as well. He's 6'5", great height at that tight end position. So, Zach Ertz could be a great number 2 there. I forgot to look up how old Zach Ertz is. I think he was like 30. I think he was like 33. Let's get that up real quick. I got to bring that up. All right, Zach Ertz is 30. He's 30. Okay. So, yeah, decent upgrade there with, Jared Cook being 34. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that's kind of a need. You got Jared Cook. I would let him ball out for this year. I don't think Zach Ertz would go. If you have to choose between the Bills or the Colts, I'm going to them. I mean, they're Super Bowl ready right now. All right, the Rams, they should be trading for Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith. All right, once again, I mean, this Rams defense is absolutely solid. Let's bring it up. Do they have a kind of weak spot in the linebacker position? What do they got? Defensively, obviously, they got Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, absolutely fantastic. For the linebackers, we got Justin Hollins, we got Kenny Young, and Micah Kiser. And then Darius Williams and Jordan Fuller and Jalen Ramsey as their kind of, defensive backs out there. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to bring in another kind of linebacker just to shore it up a little bit, I don't think they truly need it, but this Rams defense usually gets it done. So, it's not a bad pickup there, I guess. All right, the Dolphins. They should go out and get Seahawks running back Rashad Penny. Okay. Once again, our defense is pretty solid. Our running game is kind of probably the biggest question mark for us. That's why we really wanted Najee Harris, drafting him, number 17. We got, who do we got as our running back? Myles Gaskin. He's real alrighty. What did he do last year? He break 1,000 yards last season? 584. Ooh, not even close. So, yeah, I mean, but Rashad Penny, I mean, he's nothing as well. I mean, that's what we're saying. Like, these running backs, I mean, there's really no elite running backs outside of Delvin Cook and Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. There's really nothing else elite. And the elite ones, you're never going to be able to trade for. Nobody's trading. The Vikings are not trading Delvin Cook. The Cowboys are not trading Ezekiel Elliott, even though he's kind of bottom of elite status. And definitely the Titans are not trading Derrick Henry. I mean, you just have to go out and draft it or just hope that you hit, the gold mine in free agency, which is potentially Le'Veon Bell. So if you're looking for a running back, I don't think you have to trade for one. I would go after Le'Veon Bell. I think Le'Veon Bell is the best available running back so far. All right, the Vikings, let's finish this up a little quickly. The Vikings, they say to go out and get defensive end Derek Barnett from the Eagles. Alrighty, I mean, it doesn't matter. The offense will always be lackluster. The Patriots should trade Stephon Gilmore, and I think that's kind of interesting because I think this man's kind of hit his ceiling. One Defensive Player of the Year in 2019, kind of a flounder job last season, nothing really good, and this man's been in the league for a while, folks, and he's just now hitting his stride in 2019. I'm not buying that this man's like this great corner. I would get rid of them. You kind of have to sell the corners at their highest peak because they do kind of tend to fall off. They don't have that great longevity. Look for Jalen Ramsey to potentially fall off this season. It wouldn't surprise us. We hope it doesn't. Obviously, we want to see that man be great, but look at the Richard Sherman. I mean, Legion of Boom, great, and then really kind of falling off a little bit during the 49ers. So I would definitely say, Stephon Gilmore, I don't think he's that great. I think he's good, don't get us wrong, but I don't think he's that great. I'm taking, what are these other cornerbacks that we just talked about today? I'm taking Marcus Peters 100%. I'm taking Tre'Davious White over him. I'm definitely taking Xavier Howard and maybe even Kevin Byard over this man. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of corners. Oh, and then obviously Jalen Ramsey. And I might even take Richard Sherman right now over our man, Stephon Gilmore. All right, the Saints should go out and get Derek Barnett again. Once again, an edge rusher. All righty. I mean, the Saints, they're pretty solid offensively. Shore up that defense a little bit more. I've got no problem with that. The Giants should go out and get Stephon Gilmore. Now, this is interesting. Let's see what the Giants' depth chart is looking like on their defensive end. This could definitely, once again, I think, they went heavy offensive in free agency. They still have a decent defense. What do we got? Any big names? We got Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers. I'm a big fan of their kind of James Bradbury, kind of a big on their kind of corners. But, I mean, yeah, you trade in James Bradbury for Stephon Gilmore. I think that's real solid, nice veteran presence for this kind of younger Giant squad defensively. I think that can definitely help them out a little bit. I think that's a real great option for this Giants team. I think that's great. All right, the Jets should go out and get to Nick Foles. I mean, alrighty. Nick Foles is nothing. The Bears would trade this man for nothing. Hey, just take him off our hands, please. And the Jets, a nice kind of veteran to kind of push Zach Wilson a little bit. And once again, Nick Foles proves he can be the backup. He can't be the starter. He can definitely be the backup. And, if, gosh forbid, knock on wood, something happens to Zach Wilson, you got Nick Foles to really step up in the wings. So I've got no problem. I think that's solid here. Who's the Jets? What is it, James Morgan? They got... I mean, what are we talking about? Like James Morgan as their number 2? I mean, that's nothing. What do we got? What do we got? Come on. Why are we not loading? Here we go. James Morgan is their second quarterback. So, yeah, go and get Nick Foles. And they're only kind of saying that he would be kind of worth a 5th-round pick. I would do that. I would do that deal. Like I said, nice veteran presence. He's won a Super Bowl. I know it's nothing great, but it's still something. It's something that I can kind of have Zach Wilson buy into and learn from a little bit. You're not learning anything from James Morgan, folks. I mean, let's be real. So, yeah, I would say that's pretty solid there. I would endorse that trade. All right, here we go. A couple more teams here. Eagles should trade Zach Ertz. Alrighty, that's all they've got there. We agree, I guess. He doesn't want to be there. He wants out. It's going to happen, we're pretty much assuming. The Steelers, they should try and trade for edge rusher Chase Winovich from the Patriots. All right, what are the Steelers looking like? Obviously, their defense is pretty solid. They did lose a couple of pieces here, unfortunately, in this offseason. But what do the Steelers got depth chart-wise? What do they got for pass rushers? I think they lost. Who did they lose? Bud Dupree. That's kind of a big name. They do still have Joe Hayden and Minkah Fitzpatrick for their kind of back end of the defense. Cameron Sutton's pretty solid at the cornerback position. TJ Watt obviously can rush the passer. Cameron Hayward can also rush the passer. Stephon Tuitt, I believe he's pretty good. What did he do for sacks last year? Yeah, 11 sacks. Oh my God, that's real solid. So yeah, I really wouldn't say that they do need Chase Winovich. I think they've already got some nice pass rushers there. I guess if you want to beef it up a little bit, I guess. All right, the 49ers, once again, they should trade. Oh, my God. Wow. Whoa. Once again, trading their future for Aaron Rodgers. And I guess, but once again, I mean, Kyle Shanahan has, like, multiple times blowing the Super Bowl, and that's just going to get on Aaron Rodgers' nerves. Once again, he like the first Super Bowl Aaron Rodgers gets to in 10 years, and they blow it because of the offensive coordinator. Could you imagine what Aaron Rodgers, he's going to go absolutely ballistic on that man. I would feel sorry. I would actually feel kind of bad and worried for the well-being of Kyle Shanahan if he got to the Super Bowl and blew it with his play calling. So I would definitely say this is definitely not the move for Aaron Rodgers to go to the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan. I don't think that's going to work at all. But they got, oh my God, I think Aaron Rodgers would murder him. I think Aaron Rodgers would legit commit murder of Kyle Shanahan. That would not be good, obviously. But they've got the 49ers trading their 2022 second-round pick, their 2023 second-round pick, and Trey Lance to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. Once again, I'm not buying Aaron Rodgers. I'm not trading for Aaron Rodgers. I will keep my sanity and keep that kind of negativity out of my locker room. I don't care how great of a talent you are. If you're bringing down my locker room, if you're questioning the team, the organization, I'm not having that kind of, effect, be the venom, be the poison to this locker room. I'm not having that, dude. I'm truly not. So I would not trade for Aaron Rodgers of any situation, any team. I would not do that. And especially, I don't think this 49ers is a great fit. All right, the Seahawks. Once again, geez, they should trade for Xavier Howard. Please, no. But obviously, that could definitely help the Seahawks. I mean, you still got, the safety. Jamal Adams, I mean, that could definitely help him out a little bit. We know Jamal Adams is great, blitzing the quarterbacks, being the kind of safety blanket at the safety position. But yeah, shore up their defense a little bit with the corner. Xavier Howard, I don't want him to leave, but wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind to see Xavier Howard on the Seahawks just because helping Russell Wilson win another ring. I'm fine with that. All right, last two teams here. The Bucs. They should trade for Gardner Minshew. That's interesting. Alrighty, they kind of just got their kind of guy. They drafted the replacement of Tom Brady, potentially, if he works out. And the Florida quarterback that we don't really like. I am blanking on his name, unfortunate, but we kind of compare him a little bit to Mitch Trubisky. I'm not a big fan of him. But yeah, Gardner Minshew, but once again, he'd have to wait 2 years behind Tom Brady. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to play now or at least next season, and that's the Steelers. So I don't think that's the greatest fit there. The Tennessee Titans, now we're in the last two teams. Here we go. Promise, finally, last two teams. Titans, they say to get Brandon Graham defensively, and that's what the Titans need. They just need to kind of shore up their defense a little bit more. Where are they kind of lacking defensively? Let's get that up real quick. Is it the pass rusher? Do they have a pass rusher? What do they got? They just lost Jadeveon Clowney. All right, they got Jeffrey Simmons. What did he do for sacks last season? 3, nothing great. And then Danico Aturi. What did he have? Outtree. Danico Outtree. Come on, load it up. Come on. That's not going to want to load. I don't think he had anything great. I mean, that name's not standing out to me, so I would say under 5. 5 or under. But what else do we got? Linebackers, Rashad Evans. They got Bud Dupree. All right, so they picked up Bud Dupree. That's a pretty good pickup. They got Caleb Farley, Janoris Jenkins as their corner, Kevin Byard as their free safety, Amari Hooker as their safety as well. So, once again, I mean, they're pretty good at the backfield. They're defensive back. So, yeah, bring in a defensive end, shore up that defense. That's what wins in this league. You need a good pass rusher. And I don't think Danico, his stats aren't loading. All right, here we go. He had 7.5. Not bad. That's not terrible. That's pretty. It's good. It's not great. It's not. Obviously we want to see you in 10s and 11s and 12s and 13s, 15s, 16s. But yeah, that's good. 7.5, I guess, is pretty solid. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having Brandon Graham on there for the Titans. And then the last one here, Washington football team should go out and get Anthony Miller. Okay, I guess. I mean, they don't have that many weapons. They definitely need somebody offensively. I guess Anthony Miller is fine, but I don't think the Bears are willing to kind of get rid of him. So I guess that wouldn't be bad. They got Terry McLaurin. real solid out there. But besides him, that's really all they got. All right, so that was that. That was that segment. That went real long, but I don't regret it. All right, so that's one trade every NFL team should offer before training camp. Some solid ones there, but also some not solid ones, but that's what we expected. Alrighty, let's go to the basketball stories. We're probably not going to get to Aaron Rodgers versus Dallas. We'll probably have to save that for tomorrow, but we're not tripping on that. Let's finish it out here. Here we go. Well, we'll finish it out talking about the NBA. Y'all know what we're talking about. Here we go. Let's keep going. Here we go. All right, the NBA draft lottery was last night, folks. Obviously, it's never a big spectacle. I mean, there's really no big names in this year's NBA draft. I mean, the last draft to really get excited about was Zion Williamson, and unfortunately, he can't make it to the playoffs, so it's a little unfortunate there. But we're going to talk about this a little bit here. The Pistons being the number 1 overall pick now, and they've got some holes to fill. Obviously, you still have Sadiq Bey. He's pretty solid. I think you can rock with him going forward. And then you got, obviously, Jeremy Grant. So you got some good forwards, but now they need the guards. I mean, we're not buying Killian Hayes, and we're not buying Wayne Ellington. So they got to go out and draft a guard, and we already kind of know who it's going to be. He's kind of the number 1 overall prospect in this year's draft. Point guard, Cade Cunningham. Real kind of big, strong point guard who can make all the passes, who can drain the threes, facilitate the floor. So we can expect, and I think it's already kind of come out that Cade Cunningham is only going to work out for one team, and that's the overall number 1 pick. So he's probably going to end up as a Detroit Piston. Alrighty. All right, now we get the Rockets at number 2. And what do the Rockets need? Well, we know they got one of the best centers in the league in Christian Wood. He's real great. And then I think you kind of still rock with Kevin Porter Jr. as the point guard. So they either need kind of a shooting guard or another forward here. Maybe you can buy Kelly Olynyk, but once again, I think he's a better off the bench. And then you still have Daniel House Jr., but once again, he's coming off the bench as well. So let's see. I need good forwards here. You don't need the center. You don't need the point guard. You can use a shooting guard. I mean, you got Avery Bradley. I mean, yeah. I mean, anybody's going to be able to beat out that man. But what do we got here? What do we got? We got Jalen Green, shooting guard, 6'6", potential for him being there. Any good forwards here early on? Jonathan Kuminga, a 6'8" small forward. So some options here, but they don't need a guard and they don't need a center. So expect the Rockets to go out and get either shooting guard or small forward there at the second pick. The Cavs with the 3rd pick already. And we like this Cavs team. They got a young, kind of good team here. We know they're going to buy into Jared Allen. They're going to extend that man, so he's still going to be there. And we're big on their guards. We're big on Darius Garland, and we're big on Colin Sexton. So the Cavs, they just need a forward. And depending on the direction that the Rockets head into, then they can go out and get Jonathan Kuminga, who they have as kind of their number 1 small forward in the draft here. We're just kind of looking at sportingnews.com and taking their kind of word as the gospel. We'll get into maybe the NBA draft and the prospects a little bit closer to the draft overall, kind of like what we did with the NFL draft and their prospects, have our own big board and look at everything. But just for right now, Jonathan Kuminga is kind of the number 1 small forward, and that could definitely help this team out a little bit. Let's just see what they say about him quickly. Kuminga's dynamism is at an A+ level, perhaps not quite Andrew Wiggins level, but not far from it. That's the bar we're going with, Andrew Wiggins at the small forward position. Oh, okay, but Wiggins has been viewed as a disappointment to date. Yeah, I mean, I'm not comparing anybody to Andrew Wiggins. I think that's a little bit of a knock. All right. Even as he averaged 19.5 points over 7 seasons because his game has had so little variety. Kuminga is unlikely to be the 1st overall pick, so he won't have to carry that burden, but can he grow into a complete offensive player? Kuminga can get by defenders, but he spent a lot of G League time trying to prove he's a deep shooter with more than a third of his field goal attempts coming from deep, even though he only hit 20. Ooh, yeah, maybe not. I mean, you have to hit the 3, folks. You got to at least be shooting 33%. If you're not, it's unfortunate. You can't be in this league, man. NBA opponents might just back off and dare him to show he can make the leap to compete. All right, so maybe not, man. All right. But they definitely need a small forward, and we'll see if any other small forwards, or just a forward in general, we'll see if a forward emerges. All right, the Raptors at number 4. We're only going to take the top 5 here, folks. The Raptors, I mean, we don't even know what they're going to do. Are they going to blow up this team? I mean, they've got some nice pieces. I mean, they've got Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Kem Birch. I mean, we don't even know who they're keeping. They have to blow up some of this team. I mean, they've proven that. I mean, they cannot go the distance with this team. We just seen it. We saw them dropping off year by year after, Kawhi Leonard has left. Now, we know Nick Nurse is a good coach, and he's kind of, pushed this team, these players to their limit. So you're going to have to make some switches here. I really think they're going to get rid of Kyle Lowry. I think they're just going to trade him and try to get some assets for him. So if we're looking for the Raptors here, I would probably say, I mean, I'm real excited about this one player, folks, here, Davion Mitchell. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is his brother, folks, and he's showing out in this league, and he's real good. A 6'2" point guard from Baylor. I mean, this could really be the point guard for the Raptors. I think you might have to move off of Kyle Lowry. I don't really see them. Didn't they just trade for Kem Birch? Is that right? They traded for Gary Trent Jr. I'm sure they keep him as well. Siakam, Fred VanVleet. Do they keep one? Do they get rid of both? So we'll know more what the direction this Raptors team is going to be heading in, but you've got to blow up as some of these players here. Maybe keep one of Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, and Pascal Siakam, but overall, you got to get rid of most of them. So we'll see the direction that they're heading toward, but if they do get rid of Kyle Lowry, which I think they will trade him for something. I think you go out and get Davion Mitchell at number 4. All right, then the last team here, the Magic. All right, the Magic at number 5, and I mean, folks, they need everything. They just blew up their entire team at the trade deadline. I'm not buying Cole Anthony. I'm not buying Gary Harris. I'm not buying James Ennis III. I'm not buying Dwayne Bacon, and I'm not buying Wendell Carter Jr. So you can go out and get whatever you need. Whatever's there at the 5th overall pick, you go and get. That's it. The best player at number 5, and then you build around the team. You build around whatever the scraps, the leftovers from 1 through 4. That's what the Magic need to go and do. So, I'm not buying any of these Magic players so far on the roster. So that's the top 5 of the draft. We'll just read off the rest of it here. Thunder at 6, the Warriors picking at 7, the Magic also picking at 8. So once again, you build around whatever you get at number 5, and then the scraps as well left over at number 8, you shore up your team with. The Kings at 9, the Pelicans at 10, the Hornets at 11, the Spurs at 12, the Pacers at 13, and the Warriors also at number 14. Two top 15 picks for the Warriors, 2 top 10 picks for the Magic. Alrighty, and let's go to this also, and then we'll head over from the NBA from last night because there was a lot to talk about, and then we'll probably close the show there with the moneymaker. But finally, the NBA is deciding to stop letting players ruin the sport, and this is truly, folks. I mean, the jumping into the defenders trying to close out, maybe they bite a little bit, get them into a bad defensive position, and then you jump into them shooting to draw the foul. It's real lame, folks. You know it's bad when James Harden is literally injured. His hamstring is falling off of his bone. He can't even run the fast break. He couldn't even run the fast break in what was it, game 5 or 6 against the Bucks, and he wants to still jump into shooters to try to draw the foul. It's enough. It's truly enough out here, folks. So the NBA is going to be looking at that this offseason to try to correct it. They say that the NBA referees will be trained to properly officiate the following actions used to draw fouls. Shooter launches/leans into defender at an abnormal angle. Shooters kick leg at abnormal angle. And offensive players abruptly veers off path, sideways or backwards into defenders. So this is going to be absolutely great. I hated that. It was the worst thing in basketball, truly, folks. Drawing the fouls, shooting absolutely nonsense shots just to hope to get the fouls. And we've all seen it when it doesn't happen, and then they're all like, arms wide spread, big frown on their face, like, what? You're not calling that? Did you just see it? He fouled me. I was shooting the ball. I was in the shooting motion. It's like, no, you weren't. What are you talking about? You're like half sideways, thrown up. Like, look at this. Look at what James Harden's doing, trying to just lean into it. And then Evan Fournier backing off, being like, no, you're not getting the foul on me. And then James Harden puts up a trash shot. And the fact that this man was injured and still doing that, what is going on? You'd rather try to re-injure yourself just to get a call? Just to get a little call to go to the free throw line once? I mean, that's kind of pathetic, honestly. So I'm glad they're going to take care of that. don't want to see that at all anymore. I mean, just some of these shooting positions, folks. I mean, we got one here. Let's see, Luka Doncic. Once again, it gets Andrew Wiggins up and then just goes right into him. It's real lame, folks. It's real lame. I get it. You juked him. You got him up in the air. Then just go blow by him. Keep going. Blow right by him. But jumping into these defenders is getting really out of hand, and hopefully the league cracks down correctly on this, and we'll see. Once again, I mean, we're going to have to look at Trae Young's game. He kind of does that a little bit. James Harden definitely does it. A lot of these outside shooters do it as well. So once again, another narrative like we're doing in the NFL, seeing if these crowd noises affect the great play that we saw from this year. We'll see if some defender or some shooters kind of drop off a little bit, not getting these calls consistently. Alrighty. We got one more story here. All right, the Lakers are expected to pursue Carmelo Anthony in free agency, and that's fine. I mean, I think that's really good, kind of good here. He's kind of not been the greatest for Portland. He was real great in the bubble, kind of really helping them kind of get deep into the playoffs in the bubble season. But this season, real kind of lackluster. He was averaging 13 points, and that's great. He's coming off the bench and giving you that 10-plus point production out there. Fantastic. He's a great leader, a nice veteran presence. Once again, something else to have on that Lakers bench that they definitely did not have last season, or the season that they even, well, they had Rondo. I guess that's some nice veteran presence off the bench for their championship season, but definitely not last season. They didn't have anything like that. So to bring Carmelo Anthony, him and LeBron James, they have history. They're big fans of each other. They're friends in real life. Get Carmelo Anthony a ring potentially. That's going to be a huge motivation for him and LeBron James to get it done. So, I mean, he averaged 13 points off the bench. That's exactly what we need. And just to kind of be that kind of, just that extra kind of burst off the bench. That's all we're looking for this man to do. He is 37, truly aging out of this league. Let's see what he did in the playoffs this year against the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately, they lose 4-2. But what did he do? 18 points game 1, 5 points game 2, 17 points game 3, 12 points game 4, 8 points game 5, 14 points game 6. So not bad. He was kind of a big minus on the floor, even in their wins. A +6 in their win game 1, a -24 in game number 2. They lost by 19. A -11 in game 3 when they lost by 5. A -4 when they won by 20. That's never great. A +2 when they lost by 7. And a -17 when they lost by 11. So that's not the greatest, but for just scoring production, it's hard to find these bench players that can continually get 10-plus points, and Carmelo Anthony has been doing that. And one thing that really surprised me, just watching him all season, I would have never guessed this, but he shot 41% from 3, folks. That's real gosh darn good. So, yeah, get Carmelo Anthony on this Lakers bench. Get him going. Let him able to kind of lead the second team, the bench there, when LeBron needs the 1-minute rest that he gets a night. When Anthony Davis hopefully doesn't get injured and he just needs a little rest. Count on Carmelo Anthony. I think it's going to be good for both teams here. So, or I should say both parties, Carmelo Anthony and the Lakers. So, we'll see what the Blazers do. What do they blow up? They need a new head coach. Does Damian Lillard go anywhere? What happens to CJ McCollum? So they still got some question marks there. And we'll know what happens to Carmelo Anthony a little bit later. Alrighty, now let's go talk about the NBA from last night and end the show on our moneymaker. But man, oh man, the game last night, Clippers Suns game 2, absolutely a phenomenal finish. Great game overall. And I got it once again. I mean, I undervalue this Clippers team all the time, and they really just kind of keep surprising me. We should buy into them. I don't think I am, and I may be foolish sometimes, but there's just something about this team offensively I can't buy into. Defensively, they're great. They were bodying up this Suns team the entire game. Devin Booker wasn't even playing that great, folks. He had a good third quarter, and that was really it. The defense was truly starting to get to the Suns team, but Cameron Mother-loving Payne stepped up to the equation, stepped up to the plate like we know we can, folks. We've been big on Cameron Payne. We wanted that man to start in that Lakers series to give Chris Paul the rest. We bought him in game 1. He didn't have the best game 1 game, but he got into some foul trouble, and then he was the main man in game number 2, getting to the bucket with ease, folks, with truly ease. So we're going to talk about stats and some what happened during the game. We're going to kind of intermix, not kind of our usual breakdown of the game that we kind of been doing. But the Suns last night, I mean, Cameron Payne, 29 points, led the team in scoring, folks. 2 of 8 from the 3, not very good, but 50% overall on 24 shots. The man, every one of his shots was just getting to the bucket, scoop layup, beating Zubac to the rim, just getting it done, getting that high off the glass arc, and 29 points and 9 assists. That's exactly what we expect from Cam Payne, and he went out and did it. So absolutely magnificent work there by Cameron Payne, truly making up for no Chris Paul. So I give Cameron Payne so much credit for last night. We got to give credit to Cameron Payne. DeAndre Ayton had 24 points and 14 rebounds. The game-winning dunk. Yes, you heard that right. The game-winning dunk. We're going to show it. And then Devin Booker, he had 20 points overall. He had a real bad game, 31% on 16 shots. Once again, the defense was just getting to the Suns team early and often, but the Suns were able to survive, so we give them a lot of credit for that. But let's talk about playoff P. Was back in full force last night, folks. Paul George, absolutely abysmal last night again. Yes, he led the team in scoring, 26 points, but he shot 1 of 8 from 3. 5 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 of 10 from the free throw line, folks. I mean, these are Giannis numbers, folks. And he shot 43% on 23 shots, but letting the team down big time. And we get it right here. So let's run this kind of game tape. Here we go. Clippers up 103-102 with 8 seconds left. Well, before we talk about this, let's talk about the out of bounds play. Do I have that up? Was I able to find that? Yes, I was. It's right here. All right, here it is. So let's talk about this. 103-102, 13 seconds left. Suns have the ball down 1, and Patrick Beverley is once again D'ing up Devin Booker and forces a turnover, folks. Oh my God. Jeez, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons here. I gotta rewind it. Here we go. Rewind here. Here we go. Okay, so 103-102, Clippers up 1, and Patrick Beverley's all over Devin Booker, and he forces a turnover. And this had Twitter buzzing all night last night. It goes off of Booker, but Patrick Beverley was the one that kind of knocked it out of his hands. And I've got no problem with this call. Devin Booker was the last one to touch it. I've got no problem. Everyone's like, oh my God, this rule is insane. And literally everybody was talking about, oh, this is such a dumb rule and needs to be overturned. But I mean, folks, Devin Booker was the last one to touch this ball. It's out on him. Patrick Beverley played great defense. I mean, we all get annoyed with the reach-in fouls. It's real lame. It's real ticky-tacky. But once a player plays great defense and is able to knock the ball out of your hands, that's great defense. I'm not going to punish great defense. This is the right call. I like it. Everyone else was hating it. Oh my God, replays ruining the game. When you're playing pickup at the park, this is always out of the defender. And yeah, that's true, but we have replay, and it's literally touched by Devin Booker last because Patrick Beverley had great defense, folks. He pokes the ball lightly, not kind of knocking it out of his hands. Just kind of disrupting the ball a little bit, so kind of the down hand, the down dribble, it's going to be off of Devin Booker's kind of pinky finger here. We're going to watch it here in the highlight here. Just watch it. That's Patrick Beverley knocking the ball a little bit, and then we see right there, just knocking the ball out a little bit where Devin Booker is not expecting it. He has no time to try to re-control the ball, and then it goes off of his last pinky finger. This is great defense, folks. This is how you play defense and kind of reach in without drawing a foul or making you touch the ball last. I think this is absolutely magnificent. And now we want to punish great defense? Oh, I don't think that's the right move to kind of overturn this rule. Whoever touches the ball last, that's who it's out of. Because Devin Booker got bodied to the sideline, you're going to punish Patrick Beverley? Because Patrick Beverley played it exactly perfectly to make sure it goes off of Devin Booker's hands first? You're going to punish that? I don't agree, folks. I think this is absolutely magnificent defense, forcing them towards the sideline, hitting the ball at the right kind of, angle and velocity, so it's not, out of clearly Devin Booker's hand, timing his kind of touch of the ball with Devin Booker's kind of downhand dribble motion to force it, and then just to get it a little enough, get his hands on the ball a little bit enough to just kind of affect it. Devin Booker thinks, all right, I still have control of this ball going down, but Patrick Beverley just knocking the ball away just enough to kind of mess up his overall control of the ball. I'm not punishing great defense. And I think if we change this rule of, it's got to be out on Patrick Beverley because he forced the ball. No, he played great defense, and you're going to punish. He almost won. He should have won the game, honestly, for this team. But that brings us to our next point here. So it goes out on Devin Booker. Now they have no choice to foul because there's 8 seconds left and they're down by 1. The Clippers can just run out the clock. So they have to foul Paul George. And what happens at the free throw line? Playoff P in full effect, folks. He missed both free throws. How does Paul George, a superstar on this team, game on the line, he could have extended the lead up to 3, force a 3-point shot attempt to force overtime. No way the Clippers lose in regulation. It's either the Clippers win or it goes into overtime. But Paul George misses both free throws to kind of seal the game. Even one makes a 2-point. You probably had the Suns go for a 3-point attempt, honestly. Even though the Suns still went for a 3-point attempt, and we're going to get to that. But here we go. Paul George, number 2, clonk off the back iron. So now it's the Suns only down 1 point now still because Paul George can't hit free throws. So Paul George misses both free throws, and then we have this play. And I keep, oh my gosh. I am hitting all the wrong buttons here, so we got to wait for this ad to go. But so the Suns take a 3-point shot attempt, and it doesn't go. Devin Booker passes the ball up, and it goes into, it wasn't Cameron Payne, I don't think. I want to say it was Cameron Johnson. It may have been Cameron Payne. We're going to look in a second. This ad is almost over. But and we are going to see, because Skip Bayless was whining that they didn't really review it, that it was really off of the Suns. But we're going to take a look in a second. Let's get this back up now. Let's get this back over here. Oh, my God. They just played a new video. Oh, my gosh. Now we have to wait for this ad again. Jeez Louise, I hate this. Ugh. Alrighty, so back to this. Let's talk about the game. Well, let's break down some stats overall while we're waiting for this. So Paul George, 26 points. Zubac had 14 points, 11 rebounds, was getting dunked on left and right by DeAndre Ayton. And can we talk about the starting lineup? So Tyronn Lue did have a different starting lineup in this game. And once again, I praise Tyronn Lue for trying this out. I think it's not bad. He ends up having Reggie Jackson in the starting lineup as well. I didn't even click that. Here we go. They had so this was their starting lineup for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson at the 1, Patrick Beverley at the 2, getting that good defense out there, but we know he doesn't really score that much. He put up 6 points on 5 shots. Zubac at the 5, Paul George at the 3, and Marcus Morris at the 4. So they bring in Zubac and Patrick Beverley in the starting lineup, and it wasn't bad. Zubac tried his best to contain DeAndre Ayton, but he had the game of his life. DeAndre Ayton, 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 dunks over Zubac, 1 for the win. So I respect Tyronn Lue for, the new lineup here. It wasn't bad. But let's get back to what we were trying to look at. So Paul George misses both free throws. Now, Suns get the rebound, and they call a timeout. Now 7 seconds left. And now, here we go. They inbound to Devin Booker. Once again, Patrick Beverley all over Devin Booker, not allowing the shot. They double team him. Devin Booker passes the ball once to Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder's guarded, so he hands off the ball. It was Cameron Payne. Unfortunately, now, Cameron Payne misses the shot, misses the 3-point attempt, and then the ball goes out of bounds off the attempt, but they say that it was off of the Clippers. So let's replay this because they didn't really go too in-depth in this replay on the broadcast, and I was a little disappointed because Skip Bayless went to Twitter and was like, that was clearly off the Suns. How could they not see that? All this. So we weren't able to get any great reviews of those angles, and it was kind of annoying because they really didn't even bring that up as like a narrative of like, it was definitely off the Clippers. But let's see. We can put this one in slow motion. So here we go. Devin Booker passes it to Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder passes it to Cameron. Is that Cameron Payne? Number 25? That's not Cameron Payne. But he shoots up the 3. It hits the rim. And then here we go. All right, that did look like it was off Terrence Mann a little bit. So I think they did get the call on the floor right. They didn't go like super slow-mo or super, in-depth zoom of it. So we didn't get the greatest look, unfortunately. But I do think that was off of Terrence Mann. We zoomed in. We went in slow-mo ourselves to do it ourselves. So I do think that was off of Terrence Mann. So I think they got the right call on the floor. I think Skip Bayless was tripping. He's a Clippers fan. All right. Or just a Kawhi Leonard fan or something, or a LeBron hater, whatever. But all right. So now there's 0.8 seconds left on the clock. And now, or they put 0.9. I mean, it should have been 0.7. They put 0.9. I didn't think that was the right call either. But now, this is it, folks. This is what we're talking about. Absolutely magnificent game clutching play. I got to put this one in full screen for this time. But Jay Crowder, out of bounds play, throws the ball absolutely perfectly above the rim, and then DeAndre Ayton went up and got it and dunked it right on Zubac again. But can we talk about the pass? Yes, the execution of the play was absolutely fantastic. The drop, Monty Williams deserves so much credit for the drop. DeAndre Ayton deserves so much credit for the actual execution of the play. But can we talk about Jay Mother-Lovin' Crowder? The inbound play, I mean, look at the angle you have to throw this ball in. And you got DeMarcus Cousins playing absolutely trash defense. I mean, the man only played 3 minutes and floundered big time on his only job of the entire game. Get in Jay Crowder's face, jump up and down. Do not allow the pass. Do not allow the big arcing pass. And that's exactly what, look at this man. This is garbage. Look at this man. Trash defense, but Jay Crowder putting this ball right on the money, folks. Absolutely kind of the unsung hero of this game. He couldn't hit a shot all night. I was getting real annoyed by this man's 3-point shooting. What did he shoot officially last night from 3? Where are we at? Jay Crowder, 0 of 3. Only took 3 shots all game, all from 3, and missed them all. I was getting real heated on the man. But he makes up for it on the best pass here. Out of bounds pass. Throws it right above the rim for DeAndre Ayton to go up and get it. And talk about Zubac getting dunked on again. But overall, absolutely great. We can watch this play from this angle right here. Absolutely great. DeAndre Ayton, man, he had the game of his life, game-winning dunk, and then there was like 0.5 seconds left, and the Clippers had a chance, but Paul George turnaround jumper, I don't even think he got the ball off. It didn't go, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, Paul George missing those 2 free throws really lost him the game. Patrick Beverley, great defense on Devin Booker to force the turnover. Paul George, 2 free throws that don't go down because he's absolutely garbage in the playoffs. Unfortunately, playoff P is back, folks. We talked about that yesterday when we were breaking down the game. It was like we saw Paul George be great the last maybe 3 or 4 playoff games, but we know playoff P is going to emerge at some point. And it was last night at the free throw line. So he makes those 2 free throws. There's no, under the basket pass. There's nothing like that. You need the 3 to tie up the game. And they just missed the 3. Now there's 0.8 seconds to get a tight 3 off, or 0.9 seconds to get a tight 3 off. And it probably doesn't go. Or even if they hit 1, this DeAndre Ayton dunk probably once again doesn't happen. You probably try to get the 3 again. At the out-of-bounds play, maybe they drop the same play. I don't know. But at the same time, it goes into overtime if they do hit the same shot. So Paul George truly deserves all the freaking credit of losing the game last night. And then the last thing to talk about this game, man, oh man, can we talk about the leadership of Chris Paul? Once again, we saw the team FaceTime Chris Paul after game 1, and they do the same thing after game 2, folks, getting everybody hype. He's talking to Monte Williams. He's talking to Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, just being there with the team, even though he can't be because of the COVID protocols. And the reason I bring this up is because can we talk about Kawhi Leonard? He's injured, can't play for the team. And what happened with Terrence Mann? This was game 6 in the second round with the Clippers because Terrence Mann had a great game. The entire team is throwing water on him, celebrating, jumping up and down, having a great time. But what is Kawhi Leonard doing? Way in the back, clapping. Oh, yeah, great job, Terrence Mann. Woohoo, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, I'm with the team. Yeah, great job, team. But Chris Paul, he's right in the thick of it, being on a FaceTime. Kawhi Leonard's actually in the locker room and is sitting down, clapping, not throwing water, not jumping down with the team. And I know he's got, a bad knee, but still, you can't stand up and be with the team. He's all the way in the back. So I just want to bring up the leadership mentality here. It's great by Chris Paul. Kawhi Leonard, he's kind of all about himself. Ooh, I don't want to hurt my knee. Yeah, I'm going to sit this one out. I know we're competing for a championship, but yeah, my health is more important. Sorry. That's why I left the Spurs. Little bone bruise. I wasn't playing for the last 30 games. No. Yeah, my knee, it's a little tweaked. Gotta sit. And, Terrence Mann, great job. Oh, my knee, though. Damn. All right. Y'all, if y'all want to win the chip, y'all can go do it, but y'all not going to have me. My knee's bad. Chris Paul's like, I got COVID, supposedly, but I'm on the FaceTime call. I'm calling everybody. I'm making sure everybody's ready to rock. I'm making sure Cameron Payne is right for this game. Difference in leadership, folks. All right, and that brings us to tonight's action. Let's close out the show here on our Moneymaker Hawks-Bucks Game 1. Woof! Game 1! Woof! How is this series going to play out? We're calling officially Bucks in 7. But let's see what the spread is here, and man, oh man, it's enticing. It is enticing. Here we go. Hawks and Bucks. Hawks +8. Bucks -8. It's killing me. I want to take the Hawks +8 so bad, but I need their outside shooting to be on point. Now let's talk about the ins and out. Bogdanovich is a game-time decision. Kevin Huerter, Red Velvet is his new nickname he wants to use, so we'll call him that. Game-time decision. And Cam Reddish is a game-time decision. If he's back, that could be a big uplift for this Hawks team. And then for the Bucks, everybody is good to go. Alrighty. So, Giannis down low, I mean, he was getting locked up by Blake Griffin and Kevin Durant. He was still getting his, but they were making it real hard on him. Now, we just saw Clint Capella get it decently done against Joel Embiid. Once again, Joel Embiid was kind of having his way, and we saw that Clint Capella was a minus on the floor in every single one of those games against the 76ers, which is definitely not great when you have to go against Giannis in round 2. The Bucks, I think they really just kind of took a big sigh of relief. I think they thought that the Nets were their biggest competition here, and now that they had the Hawks, I think they're going to be ready to kind of, re-energize and re-get going and kind of prove that they are kind of the best team in the Eastern Conference, like we've kind of been saying. We had the Bucks at the start of the playoffs winning the entire thing, and now here they are in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I don't want to do this, because I really love what the Hawks have been doing this year. I'm a big fan of Trae Young and Clint Capella, and Bogdanovich has been great, but not in the second round of the playoffs, and that's kind of been the story here. The outside reliable shooters that we've been able to rely on, Joe Harris, Tobias Harris, Bogdanovich again, they all been coming up big time short here. So I'm going to go the Bucks -8. The Nets could not win in Milwaukee. And I don't know if the Hawks can do the same. Now, they were able to win in the 76ers multiple times. They were able to win in New York multiple times, which is great for that. But this Bucks team, if the Nets couldn't win on the road multiple times, I mean, we're talking about the end of the regular season as well, I think the Hawks could have a little trouble as well. So I think the Bucks are just going to be absolutely rejuvenated here. They're like, oh my God, we made it past our kind of toughest competition. Yes, the Hawks are still good, but that is such a sigh of relief. And now we're back at home. We have home court advantage. We're the higher seed now. I think they're just going to come and play with huge energy here game 1 and maybe a little bit of a blowout. The Hawks live and die by their outside shooting, and it's just been real lackluster. They were grinding those wins against the 76ers, and the Bucks were grinding their win against the Bucks as well. I'm not saying that's not the same scenario, but I think I can rely on, Clint Capella, man. He's going to be exhausted from guarding Joel Embiid for 7 games, and now Giannis, he's going to have to go for him for probably another 5, 6, 7 games. Bucks at home have always been pretty solid. Chris Middleton at home is always real solid. So I'm going to trust the Bucks team, their outside shooters, and this Hawks team. Everyone's kind of banged up. We just talked about all those game time decisions. I'm sure they all go, but they're still banged up overall. And Trae Young had a real bad game 7 there on the road against the 76ers. Is he going to be back in this game? We'll see what happens. So I'm going to take the Bucks -8 here. I think the Hawks +8 could be good value, but I am betting on the Bucks just kind of... Alrighty, the toughest series is behind us. It's all downhill from here. Let's get it going. And I think they're going to be rejuvenated tonight. So I'm taking the Bucks -8. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Our camera just died, so we're going to be out of here. We'll see you